By January 2nd, I had already failed my New Year's resolution. This year, I had wanted to stop the constant criticism and negative self-talk inside my head. You know, be kinder to myself. But just as my YouTube short had predicted, it didn't take long at all for me to fail miserably. On the second night of 2023, I was tossing and turning in bed, trying to go to sleep, but paradoxically getting myself more and more worked up because my brain would not shut off.
You are such a slacker.
You were supposed to start working on your next YouTube video today.
You're terrible at time management. If you can't even get your shit together now, how are you going to handle it when you start working in 2 months?
So much for being kinder to myself. If you clicked on this video, you've probably also had many sleepless nights due to these harsh, self-shaming thought spirals. But that day, I was able to turn the pity party around in just 60 seconds to save the night, the rest of the year, and probably the rest of my life. Let me show you how to do this for yourself. When I had initially picked this New Year's resolution, it had seemed so much easier than running a marathon or making $1 million. Be less harsh on yourself. How hard can it be? I've got full control over my thoughts, so I can just stop them anytime, right? Herein lies the irony of thought suppression, which is succinctly portrayed in the scene from Inception.
I say to you, don't think about elephants. What are you thinking about?
Elephants.
Similarly, by telling yourself to stop having self-deprecating thoughts, you're drawing attention to those exact negative thoughts. In fact, the attempt to suppress these thoughts can make it worse and have a paradoxical post-suppression rebound effect. In 1987, Professor Wegner and his colleagues ran an experiment where they divided the participants into 2 groups. Group A was told to not think about a white bear for 5 minutes, while Group B was asked to think about a white bear. Then, for another 5 minutes, both groups were instructed to think about the white bear. The study found that in the second half of the experiment, folks in Group A thought about a white bear almost twice as many times as folks from Group B. It seems that trying to suppress a thought in the first place can counterproductively lead to that unwanted thought to resurface with a vengeance. Not only that, the rebound effects are even stronger when the thoughts you're trying to avoid are emotionally charged. And boy, is the self-judgment cruel. If you're like me, the self-hatred isn't enough. Not only do I feel badly about myself, now I feel an extra layer of shame for feeling bad in the first place. So why is our brain so cruel? Why can't it just do what we want it to? The same Professor Wegner from the white bear experiment published a paper in 1994 that has an explanation called the ironic processes theory. Wegner argues that the rebound effect is inevitable based on how the mind suppresses thought. Let's stay with the white bear example. Step 1. Person consciously distracts herself by intentionally thinking of something else, like a red balloon. Step 2. The mind starts unconsciously patrolling her thoughts to make sure that the white bear has not resurfaced. Step 3. Person consciously stops thinking about the red balloon, but the unconscious mind is still looking for the white bear. Now, anything that even remotely resembles a white bear, like a raccoon, a child's toy, or even a Coca-Cola ad, will manifest that exact thought of the white bear. The irony of thought suppression, then, is that actively trying to manage our minds can sometimes do more harm than good. The more we try and push intrusive thoughts down, the more they pop back up, stronger than ever. And cue the self-flagellation. So if this doesn't work, what can we do instead? Rather than suppressing your negative self-limiting thoughts, let's try rewriting them into more empowering ones. Let me introduce you to the concept of self-directed neuroplasticity. Self-directed neuroplasticity is the intentional process of changing the brain's structures and functions through focus, attention, and effort. As Dr. Rick Hansen explains, mental activity changes neural structure. So you can use your mind to change your brain to change your mind for the better. When you repeat a set of thoughts in your head, the same neural circuits fire over and over again. These pathways are reinforced and strengthened, thus hardwiring those thought patterns. And for me, the thoughts that have been reinforced for years since childhood are mostly self-critical. In order to break this, we can actively focus our attention on more desirable thoughts, thereby creating new neuronal pathways that encode these more positive thoughts. With time and lots of active practice, the desired neural circuits and thought patterns will become strengthened and more automatic, while the negative thought patterns will become dormant and pruned away. So how did I implement this in my life? Let's go back to the restless night of January 2nd, 2023. I was laying in bed with my vicious thought spiral, berating myself for being a lazy slacker who was terrible at time management. But as I reminded myself of my New Year's goal to stop being so self-critical, I remembered a podcast that I had listened to a few days prior. The Hidden Brain podcast featured an episode where Dr. Kevin Conkley, a leading expert on imposter syndrome, talked about challenging your self-doubts by keeping a log of all of your accomplishments. Use facts to challenge the unsubstantiated self-critical thoughts. So I grabbed my iPad, I opened up the journal tab in my note-taking app, and I literally wrote down the following. Woke up and jumped into a cold shower even though resistance was high. Did a meditation session as a part of my New Year's resolution. Did a Carolyn Gervin HIIT workout even though I didn't want to exercise. Picked a new YouTube video topic for my next video. Speed edited and released my first YouTube short today. By recording all of my accomplishments in a very concrete way, I was choosing to focus my attention on all of my wins and thereby laying the neural foundation for more positive thought patterns. After looking at the evidence of all that I accomplished that day, how could I have even doubted myself in the first place? After that, I quickly fell asleep feeling proud of myself and excited to wake up the next morning to have another productive day. So what did I do the next morning as soon as I hopped out of bed? Jump straight into a cold shower. Deliberate cold exposure is the first habit that I've tried that consistently silences the negative thoughts inside my head and demands that more empowering thoughts dominate. In this video, I go over the mental and physical benefits of deliberate cold exposure, and I show you how to do it effectively to maximize your wins. See if this could work for you. And after you hop out of the shower, just remember to write it down. Good luck, you got this.